Okay, you guys, I fixed the problem. It was definitely on my end. There was a problem with my headphones. So that's what was going on there. I'm trying to get it to understand that I'm live again so I can get YouTube back up. And we'll get Coco back up. Sorry, you guys, for the technical difficulties this evening. Hi, Coco.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
Okay, that's cool.
Sorry about that. It was my headphones. I think we're trying to connect to something else. I had to go turn Bluetooth off on another item. So, Coco, I don't know if you've ever seen my show before, and people might struggle in tonight because Joel Reed's Bible is live right now. But here's how my show works. At the beginning of the show, I'm going to ask you 10 icebreaker questions, and then we will invite people to come up and ask you questions. Sometimes they're a little shy, and so I'll read out their questions in the comments. We also have people over on YouTube watching, and a lot of times they'll ask questions, and I'll read those out to you as well. And then at the end of the show, we're going to play a fun little game that I made up and everybody loves called Divine or Decline. Okay, does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, oops, sorry, didn't mean to play that for you again. Not trying to play that again. What I want to do is pull up YouTube really quick and say hi to everybody over in the YouTube land. What is it saying? Up and coming. It should be on. Okay, we are live. Okay, want to make sure I'm live over there because sometimes that doesn't go off right. All right, hello YouTube. If you guys have questions, make sure you put them in the comments over there. Hi Schley, how are you tonight? Thank you so much for being here. Jag, how are you over on YouTube? All right, I am going to ask him my questions first, and then we will come back and ask you guys to come up or ask your questions in chat, if that's all right with everybody. All right, here we go. This is actually like Coco and I first meeting, like on a live, by the way. I've been in your debates before, obviously, and watched and got to, vote on the winner or whatever. I watched Joyfuls. I watched a few people actually over there. And I think Atheist Preacher has been on and stuff. So I love what you're doing, and that is why I wanted you to be on the show. I think it's amazing, and I'm really excited about what you're doing over on your channel. So here we go. With that in mind, most of the questions revolve around that. If you could make one conspiracy theory true just for a day, which one would be the most fun to watch unfold?
I don't really pay attention to too many conspiracy theories, but it would be fun to find out that I don't know, there's a conspiracy that Michael Jackson faked his death and we're spotting him occasionally amongst the crowd of people. That'd be really fun.
That would be fun. I am always partial to Tahoe Tess. She is like a sea creature who supposedly lives in Lake Tahoe. And because I like that silly little story, I think I think that they saw that Loch Ness was getting a lot of tourism back in the day, so they made up their own sea monster. And so I think that would be fun if they found out it was true.
Yeah.
All right, would you rather debate a flat earther in a hot air balloon or a young earth creationist in a dinosaur costume?
A young earth creationist in a dinosaur costume. There's something that would actually be fun. I wouldn't even...
That sounds like fun, huh?
The dinosaur costume.
And I think you'd get further anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, if logic was a person, who would win a fist fight, logic or common sense?
I would think logic. I think logic. Common sense, like common sense is like a common kind of knowledge, right? But logic is more like intricate and like detailed, I think.
That's true. That is very true. I got to change my gift goal. I had it set up for something else. There is my gift goal. You guys don't forget to share out the live, send Coco up some gifts, and make sure that you do the heart me's and all the team things. I am trying to move up in my daily rankings. And the only way to move up in your rankings is for people to gift and do the heart me's and stuff. So I don't know. It's just something that they try to get you to do on here. All right. You're stranded on a desert island with only one philosophical book and one snack. What are you picking?
Say the last part one more time.
You get a philosophical book and a snack on a desert island. What are you picking?
It's either a philosophical book or a snack.
Both. You get one philosophical book and a snack. What are you picking for your philosophical book and your snack?
I'm not. Maybe a book on on compatibilism, because I've been meaning to like look into that. And then for a snack, probably like a bag of candy corn. I would say, because like that's like one of my favorite like candies.
Wow, I have to clip this and send this to Sebastian Cole. Do you know Pink Beard?
Yeah, and like
he hates candy corn.
He hates
like he corn? Hates it. Like he hates candy corn, and a lot of people like to mess with him and give him candy corn because they know that he hates it so much.
Oh no, that's a classic. You have to like candy.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Halloween, like legend.
All right. Which would be harder to convince someone of, that the earth is round or that pineapple belongs on pizza?
That's a I don't know.
These are very deep, very important questions, Coco.
Wow.
These could change the trajectory of the world.
TikTok just to shatter the absolute, throw everything out. I think it would be easy to convince somebody that like pineapple goes on pizza. So maybe it'd be harder to convince somebody that the Earth is round, because like
I agree.
Flat earthers always like they say like stuff is photoshopped, and like NASA spent millions of dollars to like lie to everybody. Like they're just completely delusional. So like, yeah, it'd probably be easier to do the pineapple one, harder to do the Earth is round one.
Yeah, I agree. If you had to use a completely ridiculous object as a debate prop, what would it be and why?
Wait, that's a good question.
Have you ever used a prop like at all?
Not really. Like I thought of like getting a whiteboard and I would put it up and like write stuff on it, but like I don't. A ridiculous prop. I don't know. Like, what would be like some options? What if people say?
I don't know, like a rubber chicken, maybe. Like, but how would you use it to debate? That's the most ridiculous thing I could think of to bring to a debate is like a rubber chicken. But I wouldn't know how I would use it to prove anything. But okay, maybe that's what I would.
Let's go with rubber chicken. I probably like like a rubber chicken would be pretty fun. Actually.
And I almost would do it to try to test myself to see if I could work it into the debate. Like if your skills are good at debating, you can do something like that. You could work that rubber chicken into being very poignant in your debate. I don't know if my skills are there, but that's what I would try to do.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty funny.
Okay, would you rather time travel to debate Aristotle in ancient Greece or Carl Sagan in the 1970s? Hey, Decon.
Aristotle or Carl Sagan? That's a tough one. Aristotle would be like tough to beat. I think maybe Carl Sagan, but like I've heard of the name and like I know who he is, but it's been a long time since I've like looked at anything about Carl Sagan.
Yeah. I think that it would just be Carl Sagan for me because, I grew up in the 70s. So, like, he's more, my era. And also, like, I would be okay with losing a debate to him because he's so brilliant. But I don't know, like, because with Carl Sagan, you're going to get more into cosmological arguments and things like that, where Aristotle's going to be more philosophical. And I think I would enjoy the conversation with Carl Sagan more about the cosmos.
Wait, can I change my answer? I might choose,
Sure.
yeah, I might choose Aristotle. What was the other option?
Aristotle.
Aristotle. I might choose Aristotle because it might be interesting to go back to the origins of philosophy.
See, I think you would probably like that. And I would be the other way around, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, this is boring me. I'm going to go talk to Carl now. No. If we swapped brains for one debate night, now I want you to understand this question. I'm almost 60, okay? If
Yeah.
we swapped brains for one debate night, what's the first thing you'd want to try with my life experiences?
Um, um, I don't know. Maybe to get in a debate about whether like I don't know
You should
whether
do women's rights.
I'd be like, yeah, well, women's rights would be a good one, or like I don't know. It'd be interesting to like know what your background is in like Christianity, and then like get in a debate about like whether God actually interacts with
Oh, yeah,
people
that
that
would be
follow
good.
Christianity. Yeah,
That
I
would
think
be a good one. Um, if I got to use your life experience, though, I think that you have a lot more knowledge about obviously philosophy than I do, but you probably have a lot more knowledge actually on like science and history and things because I just don't think that the public school system in the United States did us, did us justice as we were growing up. And I think that a lot of today's youth realize that they're not getting all the education that they can in school and they are seeking that themselves and they are looking elsewhere and they are educating themselves and it's something I really appreciate about the younger generations, you know.
yeah, I agree with that. I feel like a lot of people like yeah, in college and like in public school, like high school and middle school, there's like a lot of stuff that people aren't learning and a lot of stuff like people are learning outside of it. And some people
Yeah.
don't even need college and they're like learning skills and like, you know, building a life that way. So like I totally agree. Yeah.
Which is more likely to make you lose a debate, a brilliant counterpoint or an adorable puppy walking into the room?
A brilliant counterpoint. Like I
I
could do
would
it.
pro-
I could do it a
I could
bully.
probably weasel out of a brilliant counterpoint, but I have ADHD and I would probably lose the debate. A puppy.
Yeah.
Oh, a puppy. And
I,
I would probably lose it there.
I would be debating while like petting the puppy. I would just like pick it up and put it in my lap and then like win the debate with the puppy in my lap.
There you go. Yeah, use the puppy to make them lose the debate. Okay, if you could ban one phrase from all future debates, what would it be?
Jesus loves you. Like because like people say that to me and like I have issues with Christianity and I'm like it's kind of a slap to the face, you know? Like, you know, you tell somebody that you don't believe in God and they're like, well, you know, Jesus loves you still. And it's like, are you trying to understand where I'm coming from? Or, you know, like, does it feel that way
No.
sometimes? You know?
I like how Thinker says it a lot of times, and I'm not saying this every time, but a lot of times when a Christian does that, says Jesus loves you or God bless you, they really, really want to say fuck you, but they can't because their God won't let them say fuck you. So they go, Jesus loves you. But you know, the funny thing is, God knows they really want to say fuck you if their
Yeah.
God was real. So they're not fooling anybody but themselves. So, or I'll pray for you. Yeah, that's another fuck you from them. So, yeah. You guys, right now, you know, the stage is open. The guest box is open. If you have a question for Coco, come on up and ask your question. He would love for you to come up. If you're kind of shy or you're in a noisy place or something, you can ask your question in chat, either here on TikTok or over on YouTube. But I'm going to go ahead and keep asking some questions until you guys request up or ask a question, and we'll keep getting to know Coco. So, Coco, did you grow up religious?
Yeah, so I grew up a Roman Catholic, and I used to believe that like God exists, and I would pray and partake in the sacraments, and I would go to Sunday school and like learn about Christianity and Catholicism.
I see. And were you did you stay in the Catholic Church all through your youth?
Yeah, for the most part, from like when I was a kid to like when I ended up dropping out of college. So like in college, I was still like serving mass and like being an altar server or like an altar boy. And yeah, like it was kind of like about when I dropped out of college that was like this is not really for me.
Okay, and at that point, did you stop believing, or did you just be like, no, I'm just not into church?
Yeah, at that point, like I stopped believing.
Was there a aha moment for you, or was it just a gradual thing, or was it like I actually never really believed, I just went to church because I had to? Like, what was it like for you?
I think it was a gradual thing. I think like I was like a Roman Catholic, and then like I started working at this pizza shop about like when I graduated high school, and I started talking to like these atheists who I'm still friends with to this day, and we got into a group chat, and they started debunking like all of my points when it came to like Christianity, and so that caused me to go back into my faith and start studying it a little bit more. And yeah, I just ended up finding out that like a lot of people don't read their Bibles. A lot of people, are Christian when convenient. They do the easy things when it comes to being Christian, but not the hard things. Um, and I just started doing a lot of research, and that kind of I started to see like my giant tower of like Christianity crumble, and like blocks started to fall all over the place, and I was like, this is not working. And it kind of like spiraled from that group chat that I was in with the atheist.
So, where would you say that your beliefs are at now?
So as of right now, like I'm agnostic. So like when people ask me like whether I believe in God, I say like I don't know, and I don't believe that we have enough information to know whether God exists. So like yeah, if someone asks me like does God exist, I would say like I don't know. I think there's good arguments for the atheist side and the Christian side, and I'm like doing my research through my projects. But also like yeah, I don't think we even have enough information to know. I don't think anyone knows with like complete closure.
Gotcha. How did you first get interested in theology debates?
So like in high school, I've always liked debate. I think one of my biggest regrets is like not debating or being part of like debate club in high school. But like I always loved talking about like controversial topics, like issues between like different races or controversial topics like yeah like in general. And then, I started talking with these atheists, and that kind of got me more interested in studying like religion and stuff. And, from there, like, I loved talking to people more than I loved actually going to college and going to class. I loved studying like religion. So it started in high school, loved debate, which I did debate club. And then, like, it kind of was amped up by the atheist at the pizza shop, and I you know via my studies in religion and stuff.
Um, What made you start doing debates on TikTok specifically?
So I was working at a Lowe's home improvement store, and I was talking to this guy, one of my friends. I think his name was Alan, and um, basically I was like, what if I came up with like a channel called the Controversial Compass, where like I could steelman people's positions. I could, like build a blog site with all this information, and people could like go to it and read it and like decide for themselves like what they believe in, but have all the information in one spot: the atheist information, the Christian information, and steelman people's different positions. By steelman, I mean like represent them correctly. And
Right.
and yeah, like I came up with this idea while working at like a Lowe's, and then I guess like 1 or 2 years later, um, or I guess actually like yeah, like 3 or 4 years later, my I ended up starting my channel on TikTok in 2023, August 12th, 2023. Um, and yeah, from there, yeah, I started to basically create a channel where I host debates, debate people, and document my journey to figure out what I believe in, as well as, build a blog site where all the information is there and I can steelman people's positions and help myself and other people to like figure out what they believe in.
That's really cool. I like that, the whole concept. Hey, you guys, I do have a flash goal right now for 3 roses. They're 1 coin each, and that will help boost us a little bit in the algorithm. Every time you reach a flash goal, it helps boost you. So if 3 different people could send me 1 rose each, that will really help. Um, why did you like the name The Controversial Compass?
Um, so for one, I liked talking about controversial topics. And so that's where the word controversial came from. And then compass is kind of like I'm trying to point myself and other people in the right direction. And that's like typically what a compass is supposed to do. And then when it comes to like the graphics that I've done for my page, um, I'm really a fan of the Northern Lights, which, they're green, and it's like a refraction of light in the sky. I really liked that, and also my favorite color is green. So like, I ended up going with like controversial compass, and then making like my colors like green and blue, and making the Northern Lights, which they're in the north, which pointing towards north.
Yeah,
And that would be a part of like my whole theme, and so it kind of worked out that way, I guess.
that's really cool. I really like that. I like the whole concept, the whole brand. It's really cool. Um, what was the very first live debate about?
Um, I'm not sure. I think it was just like whether God exists, but like that was the first time like I hosted a live. But I do remember, like I remember joining a live for the first time when I got enough followers. I think it was at 300 followers, and then like after I joined and I was like really nervous, and I debated and I did like pretty okay. I remember making a video like, oh my gosh, guys, I finally did it. Like I joined the live for the first time. It was awesome. And it's like it's really dorky, but like I remember that video. And so like I don't remember, but the first live I joined to debate, I think we were talking about um, just because we don't know where everything came from doesn't mean that God created it, or something along those lines, or like intelligent design. Like, someone was making the bad argument that Ray Comfort makes, where he says, like, when we look at a building, we know it's built by builders. So when we look at the universe, we know it's created by an intelligent designer. False equivocation. Because for a building and for paintings, for those kinds of things, we have priors. As for the universe, we don't have priors. So,
Exactly.
but yeah, it was something along those lines, like, intelligent design, or, does God exist? Where did we come from?
Um, have you ever gone into a debate and actually changed your mind on something?
Yeah, like, I'm open-minded to having my mind changed. I'm open-minded to people convincing me that like God exists. If anything, like I welcome people to change my mind or convince me that like God exists. And I have had my mind changed on a couple of things. There have been like some contradictions I've brought up that people have um, kind of sorted out for me, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm not going to use that argument anymore. Or like I used to argue stuff about like Genesis or certain things in the Bible that I don't really argue anymore because there's a deeper context I'm missing, or people have pointed me to things. So yeah, I'm always changing, and I think everyone should be changing. That's how we kind of grow and get closer to truth.
I agree. Hi, Omni. Can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
Yeah, I'm 33.
Okay, did you have a question for Coco tonight?
Yeah. Have you ever like heard of any atheists? And what I mean by that is someone basically born into atheism where they study apologetics of any religion, not just Christianity, and then they get like convinced of it. And like what's your take on that? Like, do you think there's like how much of, I mean, it's obviously impossible to separate emotions involved into it and community and a lot of those variables we as humans are kind of bound to, but like, is there any level of that? Or do you think that when kind of some of these religious folks advertise themselves as purely intellectuals, purely evidentialists, that there might be some like, maybe stretching of the truth there, if you will?
I would say like me personally, I don't know anybody who was like born atheist that converted to Christianity. I don't know any personally, but I do like I do struggle with that question. I do try to seek the answer a lot. We have intellectuals on both sides, right? I know there are intellectual Christians, there are intellectual atheists, and like they're both reading the same book, but like coming to like two different conclusions. And like
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out like why does that happen? And obviously there's a bunch of different variables at play, right? Like the state of their mind, how they grew up, what neighborhoods they grew up in, and the list goes on of like so many variables that can dictate like why someone goes this way rather than the other way. But I'm trying to see if like, if we go all the way to the top, to the smartest atheist and the smartest Christian, like who is closest to the truth? I'm trying to figure out like which idea is more probable than the other.
Yeah, it's overwhelmingly frustrating. Like the example I always think in my head is it feels like we're looking at the painting of the woman that's old. There's an old woman and a young woman at the same time.
Yeah.
And I see this smart person telling me it's an old woman, and I can understand where they're coming from. I see the dots they're connecting, but I'm saying it looks more likely like it's the young woman. And then they say the same thing about me, and it's like when I'll see some of these discussions, I think to myself, oh yeah, this side won for sure. And then I'll hear people on the other side, they think the exact opposite as me. And I'm like, how? um I think here's my last question, and then I can step down and unless someone else but how do you approach morality? Uh, do you define it as subjective, or do you think there is objective, or is it just like maybe there is, but the time to believe it is after we have good reasons to? Like, how do you approach it?
I would say maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but like I'm a moral subjectivist, so I do believe that morals are subjective. I don't really see like anything like objective or anything that would indicate like objective morality, and I think that the reason that like certain morals prevail over other ones is going to be like given reason, given that a majority of people want to survive, a majority of people want to live and thrive, so there's a certain society that's going to allow for that. And obviously there's going to be like problems trying to figure out like which morality we should follow, right? Because in a subjective world, everyone's going to have their different morality. And like that's what I see in history, right? If you look at history, people thought that slavery was okay for a while, right? And so like slavery happened. And I think like over time we evolved. Over time, like we were like, this is a really bad practice. This is not beneficial for everybody. And certain individuals that are being like colonized and mistreated, they have feelings. They're humans too. We need to treat them accordingly. And they also like African Americans fought for themselves, to get rid of slavery, to escape it. And so, like, when I look through history, I don't see objective morality. I see like a bunch of people with their individual like subjective moralities, and over time we reason with each other. We take actions. We partake in civil rights movements, right? And this pushes morality forward. This changes what morality we as a society is going to like follow.
Yeah, we have to do a lot of. I think the unpopular opinion is we just have to do the work, and I can understand why people don't necessarily want to do the work, but you have to do the work. Last question. Actually, it just came up. If you could have one original manuscript, like pure mint condition of
Yeah.
the Bible, one book of the Bible, not the Bible, but like I'm talking like Genesis or Matthew or Revelation, just one manuscript that's mint condition, 100%. Which one would you? And it would be like the original, like no scribal changes or anything like that, like we have today. Which one
Yeah.
would you want to like give us the biggest insight of the past and why?
I hear a lot. Wait, hold on. Bear with me. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see if I can find it in my notes. But I think like I would like Mark. I think Mark is like the earliest of the Gospels. But like, let me check.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is.
Oh, it is? Okay. So yeah, like I would probably want like I probably want Mark and see like if it documents like anything like Jesus said in there. And that'd be a really cool thing. It's the earliest gospel. It does write about Jesus. It does leave some stuff out that Matthew and Luke don't really have, but I think I probably want to have Mark.
Okay. All right.
Well, Omni, if you have more questions, you can stay up. Whoever was up here, drop down, and we don't have anybody in the box yet. But if not, thank you for coming up. Whatever you want to do, Omni.
If you're okay, I may have more. I'll just stay
You
muted
go
for a
right
bit and I'll
ahead.
let you know. Yeah.
Okay, I have a few more questions myself. So, but you can ask any along the way. Okay. Do you prepare for debates, or do you prefer to go in unscripted?
Well, there are people who struggle with like anxiety and they're diagnosed, but like like I overthink, and I think like I think I have anxiety, but I should probably get diagnosed, so don't take my word for it. But yeah, like I overthink and I have anxiety about debates, and every single time I go to debate somebody, I try not to be nervous, but yeah, my stomach is turning and like I get like super nervous. So I hate on the spot debates.
Oh, gotcha.
Like I try to act brave. Like people will be like, "Let's debate right now," and I'll be like, "Sure, let's do it." But then low key, I'm terrified. But yeah, I'd rather like let's schedule a debate for like a couple weeks out, and then I'm spending time preparing up until that debate, and then I'm good to go, and I'm gonna argue at my best, basically.
Hey, you guys, real quick, if you could keep tapping that screen. I know there's 9 of you in here, and I know we're going up with some heavy hitters tonight. But if you do all the good things, I usually get pushed out. It's just that I have to reach 5,000 likes, and I need 2 more people to send up a rose. Just 1 rose each. It's 1 coin, because then I reach this little flash goal. And when you feed the beast, then they put you out in the algorithm. What's the funniest or most bizarre thing that's happened to you while streaming?
The funniest or the most bizarre thing that's happened to me while streaming? I don't know. Like, there have been some people who like have stumbled in and like they were like either drunk or elevated. Yeah, and they were talking about like God being energy or like some wacky things, and that's been like some of the weirdest stuff that's like probably happened. And then yeah, I have to drop them because TikTok policy.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they can get out there though, and it's kind of interesting to listen to what they say. Yeah, we've had quite a few drunk people pop by, but I also get sometimes just like Joel and Mezzo dropping by, and then they'll make the night interesting or whatever, you know. So I think the funniest thing was when, if you guys don't know, there's an account called I Am His Pastor, and it's Joyful Apostate's troll account, and so on that account, we all like pretend to be Christians. And then we say the most absurd things that a Christian could ever say, and atheists get mad at us. And it's just hilarious. So we've had Joel and Mac Lester, me, Joyful, Daniel Green, Mezzo. I don't even remember all the people. Justin, Deconstruction Zone up there. And it is the funniest shit ever. It is so funny. Wait, did you watch it last night, Kindred? It's so funny. I love where Joyful does that. I hope he does more of it. It's hilarious. But yeah, those are the funnest nights we have in there. We have people losing their shit on us because they think that we're being for real. Most of the people come in and go, this has to be people trolling because it's so over the top. But there are people who really come in and go like, no, yeah. Hey Tiny, how are you tonight? Tiny, I'm with Coco for Decon Q&A with CrystalJae. The guest box is open. If you want to come up and talk with Coco, come on up. Which debate topic do you wish people would stop bringing up?
Which debate topic? I'm not sure. Like topics that people like to talk about a lot is like slavery or Genesis or the genocides in the Bible, but I'm not sure what topic I would not like them to talk about.
I think I just get tired of the free will topic. Just because half the time they don't even agree on what free will is. So, like, if you can't come to the agreement of what free will is, and then you're going to try to debate about it, like, that just is nonsense. You both are literally talking about two different types of free will here. And so the argument just gets boring to me.
Actually, I would probably agree with that too, because like whenever people are discussing like the problem of evil, like repeatedly Christians have said that like, you know, God doesn't interfere in the affairs of man due to like free will. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, okay, but like, are you going to say that everybody in the Bible had like no free will because God was constantly interfering in the affairs of man? Like he was splitting the Red Sea, or he was taking the first sons of the Egyptians, or he was coming down as literal Jesus and like casting out demons, bringing people back from the dead, walking on water, water to wine. Like people still turned away from him, admittedly. From some Christians even say that Christians still turned away from Jesus despite seeing all those miracles. So God can interact with our world and we would still have free will. The Bible clearly demonstrates that.
Absolutely. Tiny's on teacup, but when he comes back, he can interrupt and ask some questions. Do you have a favorite debate memory so far?
I think this is his name, but I think I really miss the old debate platform that I used to go on. It was JFK. When I first started TikTok, I would get on this creator's platform named JFK, I think. And it was a really cool platform. It was my first debate on this. It was my first platform to join on this, on TikTok. And I hope that he's doing okay. But he was a really cool creator and he would host lives. And yeah, he was like a good friend of mine. I hope he's doing all right. Yeah, JFK.
I remember him. Wasn't he an ex-Mormon?
Yeah, he was an ex-Mormon. Literally,
he was really cool.
Goated live, you know. Goated live. It was one of my, like, literally my first live to join when I started TikTok. And, like, I dropped off that live and made a video. I was like, dude, oh my gosh, like, best day ever. But, yeah, I hope he's doing okay. He seemed a little, like, wary, but, like, I hope life is good for him.
Good evening, Tiny. How are you?
Hi, Crystal. Good to see you. Good to see you, Coco.
Good to see
What up,
you.
Tony?
What questions you got for Coco tonight? You
Yeah,
know what?
Coco.
While you ask him a question or two, I'm going to get a drink. I'll be right back, gentlemen.
Bet.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Coco. I was going to ask you, what grounds the necessary preconditions for knowledge, intelligibility, and rationality?
Oh my god, not tag.
Totally get out to
Do I have to answer that?
no, it's totally a joke. No, I was just gonna say, what are your plans for the future? Like, what do you think? What like, where do you see yourself like in 5 years?
Okay, yeah. Okay, I love that question. So like I'm very passionate about my project. I do want to host like more debates. I want to reach out to more Christians and atheists, and then I also want to get like Islam debates. In the next 5 years, I want to hopefully read more books. I want to add more stuff to my blog site. I'm currently working on a project with AR_11_13. We're working on Day of Debates. We're trying to bring professional debates to TikTok. I'm also contributing to the African Atheist Coalition, which is like a YouTube channel that is created and being contributed to by a creator on here named Volsi.
Yes.
Yeah,
Love Wolsey.
he's amazing.
Volsi's
And, like,
dope. Yeah.
yeah, and like shout out to Volsi, shout out to AR. And then I'm also posting videos on a YouTube channel called Right Here, Right Now. And you know, it belongs to the creator right here, right now. So really, I just like in the next 5 years, I want to host more debates, probably get more special guests, more famous atheists, more famous Christians. And I'm not sure if I'll be able to do this in the next 5 years, but it would be cool to like save up money and like do more in-person debates. I want to go out and debate in public. I already have plans to do it with Matthew, the Matthew with the dog picture, and Bobby.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all live in the same place, so we're gonna go out, set up a table, and debate people in public. But also, like, it'd be cool to host like
Nice.
conventions and stuff, where you know, atheists come together, churches are coming together, you know, Muslims are coming together, like a controversial compass or Day of Debates convention. That might take more than 5 years, but it'd be really cool to do.
You know what's funny about that is I thought about doing that here in Ohio, just like starting a live and just interviewing people and asking them questions,
Yeah.
especially around like the Ohio State University campus, because I know there's a lot of students there and a lot of activity during the school year. So I figured it'd be a good opportunity to go and just ask all the students questions.
Tiny, something happened to your mic. It got like quieter and kind of staticky sounding.
Well, it's probably my earbuds wigging
It's
out.
better
maybe.
now. Better now.
But no,
Go ahead and finish. It's better now.
but no, like that's a really good idea. Like I think like I definitely want to do that. Like start a live and just like debate people in public. And yeah, no, like I think you should do that. You should go to college campuses and talk to people about Christianity. You know, show them the flaws of Christianity. I even think Christians should, you know, like rep their ideas. I want the best idea to win. I want, you know, people to go out and debate. I want the ideas to clash, and I want the truth to kind of come out.
I like that. Hi, Caleb. Real quick, thank you, Dagda, so much. I appreciate it. Did you have a question for Coco tonight?
Yes, I did. How you doing, Coco?
What's up?
So I was just gonna ask, did you grow up religious? And you may have already answered this question, but I wasn't here. But did you grow up religious? And if so, what was your deconstruction process like?
Yeah, so I already did answer this question, but I'm happy to answer it as many times as possible. Like, I love talking about this stuff. I'm passionate about these topics. But yeah, like I grew up Roman Catholic, and you know, I believed in God. I prayed to God. You know, the whole thing. I was doing the sacraments. I was baptized. You know, confirmation. They made us pick saints for our confirmation. Mine was Saint Patrick. I got Holy Communion, and I would go to Sunday school every Sunday. In regards to my deconstruction process, I would say that, like graduating high school, I had this attitude of, I'm going to go out and I'm going to save people from going to hell. And I was very arrogant and kind of conservative with my ideas. And I started working at a pizza shop after, high school, or like on the way out of high school. And I, started debating these atheists, and we got into a group chat. They completely destroyed me. I was not the most skilled Christian, but I got annihilated. But that didn't stop me from believing in Christianity. I then dove deeper into Christianity. And, going into college, I was talking to people, talking to more atheists. In college, you're exposed to like more ideas and stuff. And, I just found like God doesn't seem like a God that's worthy of my worship. A lot of the things in the Bible were like very barbaric. I was exposed to like contradictions. And then also like, just like I saw people being hypocrites, people not really reading their Bibles that much, a lot of uneducated Christians. And like I went through some personal like physical violence, but like it wasn't like terrible. There are people who go through worse than I go through. But I went through some physical things. And, um, you know, there's many more reasons like, if God has a will for our lives, why do we pray? If God has a plan, if God can see the future, why are we asking him for stuff that are either going to happen or not happen? And also, like, whenever we do pray to God or whenever miracles do happen, how do we know that it's from God and not a coincidence or something explained by naturalism? You can't really tell the difference. There's not like a symmetry breaker. I struggled with like a lot of different things. And then, eventually I ended up leaving Christianity. I went from Roman Catholic to nihilist because I thought God was going to tell me what my purpose was. And so like I thought like I had no purpose, very sad. And then from nihilist to atheist, and then from atheist, while I was doing my TikTok stuff, I actually went from atheist to agnostic. And to this day, I'm still deconstructing, but I'm taking a very long time to deconstruct. I should give more energy towards it, but like I need to be reading stuff and deconstructing Christianity.
Okay, cool. You just said something that I just wanted to ask about as well. So you said that you went from being an atheist to an agnostic. So can you like help me understand how you understood that? Like when you were an atheist, did you like consider that as like believing there is no God, like the positive belief that there is no God? And then for agnosticism, you now just don't believe there's a God and feel that you don't have the evidence, or what exactly is it?
Yeah, so according to like the Stanford Dictionary, and according to the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, atheist is used in like two different ways. Whenever you're talking amongst like people who are into philosophy or like philosophers, atheist typically means in philosophy someone who affirms that God doesn't exist. But the more colloquial use, or the use in like psychological realms, or therapy, is that an atheist is somebody who lacks a belief in God. More people use the colloquial term than like the philosophical term. But when I was atheist, I would say that like I thought atheists were like winning the conversation on whether God exists, and I thought like God definitely doesn't exist. I was in the camp of like God doesn't exist, and I'll argue for it. But on TikTok, I got exposed to a wide abundance of really like smart Christians, and so it turned the tides. It turned the tides a little bit. I went from God definitely doesn't exist, and I'm deconstructing from this to, okay, maybe there's some context that I'm missing. Like this thing runs deep. We've got like church history, we've got hermeneutics, we've got like so many different sources out there. So I'm not sure. Both sides are making really good points, and I really need to look deeper into this. So I'm going to be agnostic instead.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And what I really found interesting about what you said is that you said that you find that most people, like colloquially, they use the second term that you were bringing up, which is lacking a belief in God. But like my experience has actually been the opposite. So like I wonder what you think about that, because my experience has been that like everyone thinks that atheism is believing there is no God. At least when I'm talking to like Christians. And then I have to explain to them, like, no, I don't believe there is no God. I just lack a belief in God. That's been my experience. But I mean, if you've had a different experience, then, that's fine. I'm just wondering about that.
I think like I think in public, like I think it would be more so your experience. Like if you're talking to people like like at your church or like people like you meet at college, I think more people are gonna say like I don't believe God exists, and that is the atheist definition that they're gonna use. But on TikTok, like a lot of people use the more colloquial usage of like atheist. So I think you're right. I think even like when I went to college, right, when someone said that they were atheists and like, more scholarly environments, they would be saying that like I affirm that God doesn't exist. But like on TikTok, a bunch of people are like, no, I just lack the belief in God. So it really depends on what environment you're in.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It sounds like it's kind of like context dependent, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, on another, how do you view aliens? If I can ask that, because like I treat God kind of like I treat aliens, where it's like, I'm like, okay, we got a bunch of claims that people are getting abducted by aliens, but I'm not resistant to the idea that there could be aliens. I'm just not convinced, is the way I kind of phrase it to people. I don't really get choked up on the whole atheist agnostic. I just kind of always go by the definition based on the interlocutor I'm engaging with at the time. So if they say, "Oh no, you're agnostic," "Oh no, you're atheist," I'm like, "Okay, whatever, I don't care." But like, do you take the same? Do you apply the same with aliens or like other extraordinary claims like Bigfoot or mythological gods? Do you say you don't you believe they don't exist, or do you lack the belief in those with aliens kind of thing, if that makes sense?
I would say like when it comes to aliens, I would say like I'm probably gonna be agnostic. Like I'm not sure if they exist. Like they could or they could not. I don't really know, and I don't think that we have enough information to like know for sure. Um,
Yeah.
and that would kind of like be a good spot for me to stay in. In regards to Bigfoot, um, I would say like the same thing. Like there's a wide range of animals that we have. I mean, like, could there be like a Sasquatch out there running around? Possibly, but like we don't have
Yeah.
enough information to know. There have been some flukes. There have been some hints at Bigfoot existing, but like I don't know. So
Yeah. So if someone's like, "Do
Um,
you believe in aliens?" You'd be like, "I lack a belief. I don't believe that there isn't any," kind of thing. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, and also like I believe we don't
well,
have enough information to know.
I'd like to introduce you guys to a different concept you may not be aware of, but I'm an atheist with an I. I I don't think we've ever clearly defined what a God is, and therefore I see no reason to believe in something where there is no clear definition. To some people, a shoe can be a God, and to others, the God must be all the omnis. And because we don't even have a definition for a God, I lack the belief.
That's a fascinating way to think about it. I never thought about that, but that like pretty much encapsulates the way that I think about it. I always refer to it as like um, there's a word for it, but basically agnosticism, where you don't think that you can know if God exists. Not just you're lacking the information currently, but you don't think that the information is even gatherable. And I think what you're
Right.
saying is kind of on the same page as that. It's not the exact same thing, but it's kind of similar in a way.
Yeah, you're talking about agnosticism, right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm talking about agnosticism where you can't know if God exists, not just you're lacking the information currently. Like you could never have that information.
Oh yeah, that would be my position. Yeah, and but also I think atheism is a good position to hold because like there have been like so many like so many different definitions of like what God is. Like it might just be like incoherent, or like we might just not even know what we're talking about. Like humans might just be like generally confused on like if God exists or not, or whether or what God is, what He specifically is.
I agree. That's why I generally say that I'm not just an atheist, but I'm an atheist on like all gods, like specific gods, right? Because you can be an atheist on certain gods, but then still believe in one God, right? Like a religious person is a theist in their belief, but they're an atheist in all other religious beliefs, right? So for me, that's why I say like I'm an atheist for all religious beliefs.
Oh.
Because like I don't think it's even knowable, and I think if something's not knowable, then you can't have a justified belief, right? Because by definition, God is Well, you can't really define it, but by most definitions, God is metaphysical.
Right.
I would say so.
By most definitions.
Right.
The problem is not by all definitions,
Right.
unfortunately. The shit I hear people say is God is just wild to me. I mean, let's face it. What is it called when you believe everything is God?
Pantheism, I think.
Yeah, pantheism. And you ask those people, so you're saying that literal shit is God?
Yeah.
Also, H-man. You're saying H-man is God too.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
saying everything is God. The shoe at the gum at the bottom of my shoe is God. Then that's where I, as an atheist, go. Yeah, no, this is why I don't believe in a God.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
It's ridiculous.
That gets into the ridiculous for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have a favorite debate memory so far?
Well, me or one of the panelists?
Yeah, you, Coco. You.
Favorite debate memory.
Hi, Shy.
Okay, so I'm not gonna say the JFK one, but like the JFK one is definitely one of my favorites. But I've had a lot of good memories in regards to like debates on TikTok. Let me see if I can pinpoint one. I don't know. Like I've had so many. There's been so many like amazing debate moments. I'd have to go look at my replays. Or I mean, like recently I was hosting a live, and there's this guy that was being completely disingenuous, like really bad faith, really disingenuous. And one of my friends named Just Jim started like yelling at the top of his lungs at them, basically. Like, do you ever shut the fuck up? And he just like started like roasting him, and like that clip is on my page. It's gonna be like a brown. It's gonna be like a brown video because it has like a bar background. But yeah, like it's on my page. I'll make it my story tonight, and I would say that would be like one of my favorite, along with many others from like the debates I do on TikTok and host.
Oh, I got another question for you, and then I'll probably step away after this.
Okay.
You said when you were deconstructing, what triggered your deconstruction was engaging with atheists, and you were getting slammed in debates. Did you ever like listen to debates when you were still a Christian, just like on the side, but not before you engaged with atheists on campus? And like, if so, did you? Yeah, that'll be my first question. Did you listen to debates on the side as a Christian, or?
Not so much when I was a Christian, because like I grew up around Christians. I believed that like Christianity was the only way to be happy. I believed that like it was the guideline for life, and anybody who was not Christian was like miserable.
Yeah.
But then like in college, when I started doing my research, I then began watching like debates. And what's weird is like I liked debates in high school, but I never watched them on YouTube. I never like looked at debates on YouTube. It was only like in college I started looking at debates on YouTube. And I have on my flash drive I have a bunch of files of like all my notes and stuff, and I do have like a handful or like 10 plus Christian debaters I really like, atheist debaters I really like, and yeah, like in college I started watching debates. And also in college, where I went, there were these preachers who would show up to college campus and, stand on boxes and have like signs that say like, I'm not sure if I can say it on TikTok, but like schmucks are going to hell, and like very hateful messaging. And that wasn't really cool. I even checked like the campus text messages and saw that, like there was a Christian preacher that was like throwing a Quran on the ground and like stepping on it and like ripping pages out of it. So like I saw like street debates and stuff. But yeah, it was in college I started getting exposed to that stuff.
Okay. Yeah, it was nice meeting you, and good luck with everything. And thanks for sharing your story.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it, and I'm happy to talk with anybody, anytime. And yeah, like I'm really passionate about this stuff. I love doing this.
No worries. Take care. Bye,
Thanks
Crystal.
for coming up. Thanks so much. It was a pleasure having you up.
I actually had.
Caleb, did you have some more questions?
Yeah, I had
Go
one
right
more.
ahead.
Okay, I was gonna see if you wanted to get one in because I know you had some too, but
No, you're fine.
all right, cool. So the question I was gonna ask is, do you have like a go-to argument that you use like to defend your atheism, or do you simply say, you have the burden of proof and you need to bring an argument to me and I'll debunk that? What approach do you take?
I think the approach I take is that I think like I hold both people to the same standard. I think like if a Christian says, like, it's whoever says it first, right? If a Christian, like if I'm watching a debate and a Christian says like God exists, then oops, you've activated the trap card, right? Now you have to basically defend this claim that you made. But like if an atheist comes in and they say like God doesn't exist, oh, you activated the trap card. Now you have to defend the claim that you made. So it's whoever makes the claim first, and then you start examining their reasons for why they do what they do. But when it comes to what arguments I use, I typically use like the problem of evil. That's like one of my favorite ones. I'm not sure if you guys watch anime, but like Naruto, he learns a move and like he kind of like masters that one move and uses it to like
Sengan.
win a lot of fights. Either Rasengan or Shadow Clone Jutsu.
Oh, that one too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the problem of evil is like my Shadow Clone Jutsu. I'm always talking about problem of evil. Love to debate that. Divine hiddenness, I talk about a lot, or contradictions in the Bible. I talk about a lot, or things that God does in the Bible that are incredibly like obscene or like really bad. I talk about that. So like, there's many different ways that I approach kind of arguing against the Christian God, but I am agnostic.
Yeah, sorry, I realized I called you atheist. I realized that, and I was trying to wait for a moment for you to stop talking. I was going to say I'm sorry for that, man. I didn't mean to misdiagnose you like that.
Oh, you're totally good. Technically, I am psychologically, but not in the philosophical sense.
Right. Makes sense. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all the questions that I had. I just wanted to know what your thoughts were on that stuff. So, yeah, I appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. It was an honor.
Thanks for coming up.
Yeah, thank you guys.
You can stay up if you want in case you have other questions.
Honestly, I might.
I'm going to go ahead and... All right,
I'm going to just mute up and let you... Yeah.
All right, sounds good. If you could debate anybody on the app right now on any topic that you pick the person and you pick the topic, who would it be and what's the topic?
So I have... It comes with the job, but like I have developed some enemies on TikTok, some Christian enemies. And I've called people out to debate, and I would love to debate against like this one creator named like Present or He Is Risen. But whenever I called them out to debate, they refused to debate me in a formal debate. But they spend a lot of time talking shit behind people's backs and claiming to be Christians and Christ-like. So I probably want to debate them. Or if Ray Comfort was on this app and had like a TikTok account, I would definitely debate Ray Comfort in a formal debate and test my luck.
Those are good. I don't have... If I was going to debate somebody, it would probably be a friendly, but it would be like debating them on like okay, for instance, you talked about how there's some things you don't use in the Bible anymore because somebody has pointed out a problem with using that particular thing or not. And like I happen to know some of the debate people who also do that, and I would want to like maybe debate them on the topic that they're trying to avoid because some Christian told them that the hermeneutics is wrong or something. Like, I know that there's some debaters who are like, I don't do the whole creation debate like the Genesis one, or how Genesis 1 and 2 don't line up. Yeah. I want to debate them on that. Let's talk about that, because why don't you use that? That they are not the same. Those are two different pieces of information within the same book. So that's what I would do, but just for the fun of it.
That'd be pretty interesting.
Have either of you guys seen the South Park, not really mocking because he actually loved it, but the South Park thing about Charlie Kirk?
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
I've seen a
Oh, you
clip of
love
it,
it.
but I need to watch the whole episode.
It is hilarious.
I will look it up later because I'm sure I'll love it.
Yeah, he's
Sounds
like,
Hey, Ellis, how are you?
I'm good. Sorry, I just inserted myself in there.
Oh, that's okay. Did you have a question for Coco tonight?
Coco, is that the controversial?
Yeah, the
Yes,
controversial.
that is.
Oh, I didn't really have a question. I just want, because I was on your channel before. I'm a Christian and I'm a believer. But I was on your channel before, and I really enjoyed the conversations that you curated and kind of drew up. So I just wanted to say, like I'm following you, so I can see when you go live on occasion.
Awesome.
So I just
Well,
wanted to say I enjoyed the conversation that we had.
Thank you.
Well,
I appreciate
awesome.
it.
Ellis, if you do have a question though, Coco does all debate lives and stuff. Like he brings the best of this TikTok in both Christians, atheists, and so forth together to debate. So he's really amazing. Have you watched a lot of the debates on his channel?
I joined one, and I got to talk to some people for a while. And I think that's the only one I've seen or been a part of. Just that one, and that was that a week or two ago?
I think so. Like I've seen your name and profile around.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Whenever I talk to people, I'm more to answer questions. I'm not really trying to change anyone's beliefs or mindsets necessarily. I just know there's a lot. Some people just have genuine questions, and so if it turns into a debate back and forth, I'm game. But if really, I just like answering questions. But yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming up. We really appreciate it. Big W in the chat for Ellis, everybody. Thanks so much. I really appreciate you coming up and letting Coco know. Let's see who else we have. We have Captain Stabbin. Hey, Captain, did you have a question for Coco tonight?
I did. I have a question for Coco.
Yeah.
Coco, if there is such thing as right and wrong, how do I know when I'm doing the right thing?
It really depends on your own moral compass, or comparing your morals to other people's morals. I'm not a moral realist. I don't believe in objective morality. I believe in subjective morality, and I think in order to figure out right from wrong.
You said that subjective morality is correct?
I would say I hold to subjective morality.
Is that objectively true?
I would say from my point of view.
It's objectively true that it is subjective.
Captain, did you come? Wait, just a second, Coco. Did you come up to debate? Okay, because this isn't a debate forum; it's a Q&A. Don't tell me what to do on my live. Okay, we don't do that on my live.
Oh God.
I'm sorry, Coco. We don't allow people to come up to debate the guests because we want to talk to you. We want to be able to hear your answers and actually get to know what you think, not have somebody railroad over you. And I'm really sorry about that. I thought he was being genuine.
Oh no, that's totally okay. I was gonna look into it. He was picking my brain. I was gonna see okay, let me evaluate my ideas and try to be consistent.
No, but then when
background.
when I start to ask what his intentions are and he decides to steamroll over me when I'm the host, then I know his intentions were not, really good. And that's okay. He doesn't have to stick around. You guys, if you are in the chat and you have a question for Coco, you can come on up. The guest box is open. Or you can ask your questions in chat, and I'll be happy to read them out to Coco. Also, the same goes over for YouTube, but there is no sound. For some reason, I don't have sound on YouTube right now. So I will be posting this live probably tomorrow because I have to now take down the one that didn't work and put this one up from TikTok. Sorry about that, you guys. I don't know why there's a sound problem over there tonight. Let me get back to my questions though. So how do you handle trolls on your show? How do you handle trolls in the chat and on your live?
It depends. sometimes I mute, I do block, or people come up and like yell slurs and like we just kick them. But certain trolls we kind of like engage with, because I mean like they're making me money, or like I'm just gonna clip it and put it on YouTube. So like they're doing me a
Yeah.
favor, and like they're trying to be mean, and I'm just like, well, joke's on you. Like I'm just gonna make a clip out of it. So.
Yeah, you could just content farm it for sure. I'm okay with trolls for the most part. On my Decon Q&A with CrystalJae, I don't like them to come up. I'm trying to actually have a conversation with somebody that I want people to get to know. I want the community to get to know each other, and this has been a really good outlet for me to help people get to know each other. If you do it on my Conversations with Crystal show, then sometimes I'm going to let you go off so I can content farm it or whatever. But other times, if you're a bigot in some way, I am going to cut you down right away, because you're putting my show and my channel in danger at that point. And I'm not having your bigotry, ruin things for me, for sure.
We appreciate you, Crystal. You do a lot for this community, honestly. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Do you think debates are more about facts or more about how you present your argument?
I would say it's more about how you present your
No,
argument.
Coco's not being a bigot. That's not what I said. No, I said I don't allow people who are being bigots. Okay, no, he was not talking about Coco being a bigot. I am sorry, Coco. I needed to fix that right away. Go ahead, Coco.
Oh no, but like I think so debates are obviously like a demonstration of like rhetoric. People come on there to present their ideas and show that their ideas are better, or more attractive to the audience. And so yes, facts are important. I'm not saying that like facts are not important in debates. With political debates, with like Christian debates, or with theological debates, people do try to, like, the more intellectual people try to be very factual and very like attentive when it comes to details and like sources and stuff. But debates are more so a competition of rhetoric, and there are people who unfortunately come up and spread misinformation. But if they do it in like a confident enough way, it looks as if they've won the debate. When you examine the information, it's like, this person was wrong. This person was like spreading misinformation. This person misdefined this term. And that happens on TikTok quite a bit. But yeah.
So let me ask you something. So let's say I was judging a debate, right? And I'm judging the debate, and I know that the fact that you brought to the table is wrong, but I feel that you made a good enough argument for it. Don't you think that then I should like allow you to kind of win that point on that? Even though I know technically you're wrong, it's wouldn't it be how you present it to me that I should take into consideration as a judge?
Yeah, I think like that's more likely how judges are gonna like score debates. Like if somebody makes like a really good argument and it's like logical, and I don't think it would be sound if like it's wrong in some sense. But I think the judges would probably give points for like, hey, it was logical. It was logical. It followed like a logical inference rule, and like he was able to make like an argument out of it, even though the conclusion is not really like true, or maybe one of the premises are not sound or something.
Right.
But I'm not. People shouldn't take my word for it. People should do research on it. But I think it would be more scored on like rhetoric skills than it would be scored on like the actual content. But it might even be like both are evaluated.
Gotcha. Hey, I want to answer a question real quick to chat. The Amanda Show, this show is called Decon Q&A with CrystalJae. It is a talk show based around the deconstruction community, and I have one special guest every time I go live with Decon Q&A with CrystalJae of somebody who is a creator in the deconstruction space. Tonight's special guest is Coco right here, the controversial compass. And so the questions can be anything you want to ask him, obviously within reason. We're not asking for his home address, phone number, social security number, his, we're not asking any private questions or anything like that. But you can come up and ask him all about himself and what he thinks about philosophy, maybe history, maybe religion, theology, epistemology, hermeneutics, whatever you want. Hi, I'm a ghost. How are you tonight? Are you with us?
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right. Did you have a question for Coco?
Coco, are you deconstructing?
I would say like I'm currently deconstructing. It's taking a very long time, but yeah, I'm like in Christianity.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Yeah, I've been there, done that. I don't know. You got any questions? I mean, I've been deconstructed for quite a while.
I guess I could ask one question. Or let me ask two. Did you start off as Christian?
I did.
Did you ever have like a fear of hell?
I did.
Okay, so how do you get over that? Because to this day, I still sort of struggle with like the fear of hell. I guess
yes, that's most likely trauma that you're going to hold on for a while. But look at all the other religions, many other different religions that also have their hells. And you don't believe in any of those, right?
Yeah.
So basically, it's the same thing. You don't believe in Allah, right? In Islam.
Yeah. I don't believe in Islam.
Exactly. And that's you have to reason with yourself, and you have to kind of pick away at that. For some, depending on how much you really feared that, it can stick around for years. I mean, I've kind of bounced back on and off over a good portion of my life, but I started deconstructing when I was 6. I read the Bible when I was 6 for almost a year until I was 7. My mom and my dad both feared for my eternal soul. I'm autistic. I'm divergent. I am the most oddest individual that you may ever have met. My childhood was riddled with abuse, and even my own father could not stand the fact that he named me after himself. I read the Bible again when I was 12, when I didn't see any path in life. When I read it the second time, yeah, I mean, it was just a conclusion for me. There's a lot. I mean, I'm almost 60, and the deconstruction, I don't know. I would imagine it is extremely difficult for anybody, everyone that I've ever talked to. I'm a therapist. I do therapy. I do TikTok therapy. I do YouTube therapy. I do anyone I communicate with, if I can assist in anything. And anyone that, a lot of times I'll have people who I've already started helping on TikTok, and they'll chime in. They'll track me down. They'll chime in. I love all people. I have no hatred. Empathy is like my greatest gift, and my mind. Now that I'm older, I understand all the flaws were actually very beneficial. I'll let you talk. Is there anything else?
No, that'd be it. But I'll give you a follow, and then I'll let you know.
I'll follow you back.
Yeah. But yeah,
I'll follow everyone.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just gonna follow everybody.
Oh, but yeah, I think that's a really cool thing that you do. Like, I think the job of a therapist is really cool, and also like, yeah, sorry about all that stuff that you went through. I don't think anyone deserves to like go through that. And yeah, people struggle with like the fears of hell, and like people come from abusive backgrounds. One of the YouTubers I watched when I was leaving Christianity, he talked about how he would question God in his parish, and they would like bash his head against the wall, and tell him that do not blaspheme against the Holy Spirit. And I think he was, the way he described it, I think he was Catholic, and so kind of common.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for coming up. I'm a ghost. I want to get
Yeah,
back to asking Coco questions, but we really appreciate you guys. Make sure you do a big W in the chat for Ghost. Let me see.
W
We also
Ghost.
have somebody. Oh, we had somebody else in the box, but they dropped out. If you want to come up and ask Coco a question, the guest box is open. Also, you can ask your question in chat or on YouTube. YouTube can't hear me right now. I don't know why I keep saying that, because YouTube sound isn't working. So that's not going to happen. The people watching over there are doing it just because they love me and they're letting it play while we're live. Let me ask you another question. How do you stay calm when somebody is getting really heated with you? Because you're a much more calm demeanor person, and I tell you that I'm learning from all you guys. Okay, so keep doing it, because I'm not joking. This is my sign that I put right on my phone to keep me to calm down while I'm live and I'm getting heated. I have to remind myself. How do you stay so calm, Coco?
I would say it's just kind of a natural thing when it comes to me. Like typically, I avoid confrontation, and that's kind of like that's sometimes been like a bad thing, because I do need to have like a backbone and like set boundaries. But typically, like I kind of avoid doing that, or I'm very chill and laid back. It takes a lot to get me like heated or like angry or frustrated with somebody. And so for the most part, I just want to keep the peace. I want everybody to like respect each other, and like I want everybody to like coexist. But like if somebody is like, I don't know, making fun of my friends, or just really going over the line, then like most of the time I'm calm. But like there are clips of me where like I'm like ripping somebody in two verbally, debating on TikTok, and like I've had my moments. So it happens to all of us.
I guess so. I don't know. I rarely see it with you. Like you're very good at staying, I think one of the things that you do is you're very good at listening and allowing them to say their piece, even if what they're saying isn't something we all want to hear. You still let them, and I think I need to learn that a little bit.
And actually, like, I'm just like very interested in like, I'm very open-minded. I'm interested in like, I think that I think everybody has something valuable to say. I think like everybody should, get a seat at the table when it comes to these kinds of discussions. And I sort of understand from like a cultural perspective and like a religious perspective what it feels like to not really be heard. Because maybe you're not old enough, or maybe like people are judging you before they actually hear what comes out of your mouth. And so I kind of want people to be able to speak, and let's judge them by like their character or like what they actually say, rather than judging them before they even like open their mouth. But, yeah.
What's one piece of advice you would give to your younger self?
One piece of advice I would give to my younger self. I would probably say, I'd probably tell him to take care of your responsibilities first before engaging in the things that you like to do. I think growing up, I was a troublemaker, and I was really into like partying and like having fun and stuff. And I think that it's very important to like be there for your family members, like take care of like your responsibilities. And like life is hard, but in order to like kind of get through life, I think it's important to like do the things that we don't want to do to become the people that we want to become. We have to take care of like responsibilities even when it comes to like this TikTok stuff, like there are a lot of parts that I enjoy, but there are also parts that like I'm like, ugh, like I have to do this, and I have to in order for like my thing to be successful. So I guess my biggest piece of advice would probably be, um, work hard, play hard, take care of your responsibilities, before you enjoy. Like life is kind of like the good parts and the bad parts, and to truly be happy, we have to be able to embrace and engage in both of them. I guess like one last thing is like I agree with the messaging of like the yin yang from Taoism. The circle that's like black with a white dot in it and white with a black dot in it. I think life is like bittersweet. Life is a mix of like good and bad. And to truly be happy, one needs to learn how to not only dance in the sunshine, but also dance in the rainstorms as well.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Hey, Grana, how are you tonight?
Hey, I missed most of it, so if I ask a question that's already been asked, I apologize, but I will go back and watch it.
That's okay.
But my question is, have you ever, sorry, I lost my question now. Oh, it's coming back though. Have you had times where you didn't know what to say, and what did you do?
Yeah, no, there's been like plenty of times where like I didn't really know like the best argument. There was a debate that I did where it was like me versus Brody on is the problem of evil a problem for God? And yeah, like he asked me a question. He was like, can you provide a premise-based argument that like God is incompatible with evil? And like I literally could not come up with one on the spot. So it was a little bit embarrassing for me, but I think like if I'm competing in a debate, then like I have to improvise, and I'll use the knowledge that I have in my brain in that moment to improvise. But if I'm in a conversation with somebody and I don't know, I think it shows integrity and honesty to literally just be like transparent and be like, I don't know what to say when it comes to this question. I often see Christians not knowing the answers to stuff and still trying to answer it and sort of being disingenuous, and that's not really good. But I guess the same can be said for atheists as well. But like I think like the most important thing is like if you don't know the answer to something, like it's better to be honest than to like put God in the mix or like make something up. We're all learning and going through life at different paces, so I think honesty is key.
And I do have to share with you, when I listen to you live, this is how it sounds like to me. This is just my interpretation. That's right. You do have a right to that opinion. But have you thought of this? And then God said this in the other verse, and I'm wondering if you have considered that. That's what it sounds like to me half the time.
I know. He stays so calm too. He's just like,
yeah, but he doesn't get condescending either. Some people get condescending when they say calm. You don't get condescending. You just keep in with the argument without the yelling.
Yeah. I try to treat people like the way that like I want to be treated. Because like I get upset with some people on TikTok who, don't treat me the way that I want to be treated. And like, yeah, like I want everybody to coexist. I want all of us to come together, like share our ideas, and like we're all trying to get to the truth. We're all trying to figure out like, does God exist? Does God not exist? What our morality is, and so many different things. I don't want to fight. I don't want to have to fight, but unfortunately in life there are like people who are bad faith and like you have to fight. I would prefer that we all like sit around and converse together and like coexist together.
That's beautiful. Well, those were my questions, Crystal.
You can hang out if you want.
I had one real quick. If that's okay.
Michelle, you go right ahead.
All right, cool. So we were talking about morality earlier and stuff, and you mentioned that you believe there's subjective morals, and I actually agree on that. But I was wondering, have you heard of emotivism? And if so, what do you think about it?
It sounds familiar. I think I've heard the term, but I haven't really looked into it.
Okay, I can tell you what it is because I was just reading about it. I have it pulled up here. Basically, it's the theory that objective moral laws do not exist, and instead they are just expressions of personal approval or disapproval. So the common like thing for emotivisms that emotivists say is like when someone says murder is wrong, they're essentially just saying boo, boo to murder, right? And then like when someone says like charity is good, they're just saying like yay to charity, right? They're not actually making a moral reason. They are just basically expressing their approval or disapproval for something. So what are your thoughts on that?
I would probably be more so in the camp of like, I think I'd probably be more so in the camp of like, if someone's saying that something is wrong, they're probably sharing some kind of like moral reasoning, or at least that's where I come at it from. Like if I say like Schmurder is wrong, then there's probably gonna be like some reasoning that's gonna like follow, and like some like thought process that got me to that conclusion. Um, but yeah, I can understand that some people are just like, I can understand motivism, and I'm not gonna deny that people have that or believe in that, in a sense of like, it's just kind of like yay or nay for like certain things. But I think I don't know. For me personally, I think I'm more side with like there's going to be like some kind of moral reasoning or some kind of process people go through to get to the conclusion.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Can I like clarify that?
Yeah.
So basically, like, the motivists still do believe that there can be reasons, but what they disagree with is that like when you get to the end of that statement and you say therefore it is wrong, the wrong is the subjective part, right? So you can say that like this thing causes harm, or this thing causes suffering, or whatever it may be, but the part that they reject is that is necessarily wrong. They say that what is wrong is subjective, and therefore they're just expressions. Whenever someone says that something is wrong, that's just an expression of their approval or disapproval for said thing, because what is wrong is ultimately subjective.
Wait, so how is that different from? Wait, explain it. Wait, so okay, what specifically are they saying is like subjective? Like the conclusion, or like
Yes. So like when someone says therefore it is wrong, they're saying the conclusion that is wrong, the statement that is wrong, is subjective, and it's just an expression of their approval or disapproval for things. So that they can have like a very long and complex explanation as to why they think the thing is wrong, but it being wrong is the subjective part, right?
Okay. I mean, I guess I would side with that. I do believe that like everyone's gonna have their opinion on things, and yeah, it's gonna be subjective. Like I think that Schmurder and Schrape is absolutely wrong, right? But Genghis Khan, right? He was running throughout Asia, schmurdering and like raping people, right? And he probably thought it was right. So like, yeah, I'd probably agree. Like, it's going to be subjective, and I'm just going to have my reasonings and my conclusions in regards to that. And other people are going to differ and have a different opinion on that.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then there's like one more that I was going to ask about. I don't remember what the actual name of it is, but it's this kind of idea that if we agree upon what morality means, then from there we can make objective statements. But agreeing upon what morality is a subjective act, right? So like agreeing, we have to start with the foundation, and that foundation isn't based in objective. It's not based on anything objective, right? So like the idea that suffering is wrong, that is not based in anything in reality. But the idea that suffering, or if we agree that suffering is wrong, then there are objective claims that we can make about how to reduce suffering. And that's kind of the thing that I hold to, personally. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm not sure about the part where you're saying that like, if all of us agree that like a certain thing is wrong, then like there would be objective ways that we can go about to lessen that thing that we think is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it just applied across the board to everybody. Like if we came up with a way to lessen what was wrong, and it was like the one way across the board, like applicable to everybody in regards to like this thing being effective and lessening that thing, I guess yeah, it would be objective in that sense. It has to be like mind independent and like applicable to everybody.
Yeah, definitely. So like, if someone were to say like suffering is wrong, like that would be subjective. But there are like me personally, I would say there are objective ways that we can reduce material suffering, right? Because like I do believe suffering can to some extent be quantified, and you can
Right.
you can reduce that quantifiable suffering. But you have to first agree that
too.
suffering is wrong.
Oh yeah, actually yeah,
But
I think I agree with that. Yeah.
So let me get this right. With emotivism, it's the idea that your morals, when you make a moral claim, you're not stating facts, you're just stating feelings.
Correct.
But I believe that even if we're just stating our feelings right then we can then say, now, is there something we can measure here to see if this does greater harm than it does good? And I believe we can measure those things.
I agree. That I actually 100% agree, and that's why I think the second one that I brought up, I actually forget what the name of it is, but the second one, I think it's more like a complete version of emotivism, right? Because it's like
Yeah.
it's like the same core concept, but then it's saying, but we can make objective statements from there. I don't know. I
agree.
find the topic interesting.
That's very fascinating for sure.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I say one thing about that, Crystal?
You could say two things if you want.
Okay.
That's okay too.
I like that a lot because, for example, when you say suffering is bad, but people who can't feel pain, which is modern day leprosy is what they call it, they are harmed all the time because they can't feel pain. So for them, reduction of harm, it would be to make them a way for them to feel when they had a cut or when they had something going on with their body. So I like that it's subjective, but it's not exactly. It's all about reducing the harm and what that means.
That is an incredible point. I have never thought about it like that way. That there are many cases in which feeling like suffering actually is good, and that sounds crazy, right? But yeah, but like if your leg is cut and you're bleeding from your leg, like you want to know that your leg is hurting. Like you want to be aware of that, because if not, you're just gonna bleed out and die, right? Also, am I like getting you in trouble for using these?
No,
terms?
I don't think so. But I do want to say that I personally believe there's a difference between suffering and pain. I believe that not all pain is suffering. And just because I feel pain from my leg because it's injured doesn't mean I'm actually suffering in that moment. Right. So I believe there's a very big distinction.
Actually, that's a good point. That's a very, because also some people like intentionally want to like feel pain like for many different reasons, right? Like stimming or like, in bed or whatever it may be. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And for them, that's not harm. That's actually enjoyable.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think that goes further to support the point that
and that's more pain though than suffering, and that's why.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Coco, what is harder to you, or have you done both, debating online or debating in person?
They're actually
is there a difference?
They're actually kind of like the same to me, because like I've debated with my friends and I've debated online, and at first for both of those experiences, they can be a little bit overwhelming and like kind of like nerve-wracking, but like after doing the TikTok thing for like a little bit, it's no longer like nerve-wracking. I can debate in person and I can debate online perfectly fine.
Cool, very cool. I would be much more nervous in person. Actually, if you ever meet me in person, you're gonna go, she was so subdued, and that's not like, she's so different in person, because I have social anxiety. So in person, I'm quieter, especially at first. But once you get to know me, I act like this. But until I'm very shy in person. Very shy. Hi, Tahir. Thanks for listening. Hi, Kendra Deacon. Thanks for coming in.
Crystal, just to crack you up, sometimes when you meet me in person, I'm the opposite because I get anxious, but my anxious makes me go crazy a little bit. And then I calm down and people are like, oh, okay, you're still buzzing because that's your normal buzz, but you're not at the crazy level anymore. You're like,
yeah, I actually, it's hard for me even with people I know and love. Like I have become a recluse, I think. I don't know. No, I go out. I do things, but I prefer not to. I'm not gonna lie. I like my little safe world I live in.
I'm the same exact way because I personally had a traumatic experience, and ever since then, even people who are close to me, being around them for more than a few hours is difficult. So I spend a lot of time alone because of that. So I understand how difficult it can be because not only is it the anxiety that you're dealing with, but then you have to deal with the loneliness of being alone all the time.
Yeah. It's difficult, but I go through therapy. I take my medication, and I'm working on all that shit. And that's all I can do, right?
And that's awesome. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
What's the strangest argument an atheist has ever used that you've heard?
The argument of like, if God has like all knowledge, he understands all experiences. So does God know what it feels like to have like butt sex, basically?
That's Mezzo. Mezzo has done that one.
That's what the fuck. Okay.
He will actually ask, does God know what it's like to be a P3DO?
Yeah, and so yeah.
Because if he has all knowledge, then he knows how that feels, and they're like, of course he doesn't know that. And then he goes, well, then he doesn't know everything, so.
Yeah.
But Mezzo likes to point out that actually when you put all the omni properties on God, you are actually making him illogical in the end because he cannot be all the omnis. And nowhere, whether you believe in God or not, like it wasn't common to believe that he had all the omni properties. He was much more humanistic in the Bible where he didn't know things like, hey, I'm going to go down to Sodom and Gomorrah and see if what they're saying about that place is true. So he wasn't omnipresent because he had to go down to Sodom and Gomorrah. He wasn't all-knowing because he needed to go there to see if what he was hearing was true. So it's not really biblical that he's all the omnis, but when you put those on it, you make him a little illogical, frankly, a little illogical.
Yeah.
If you could instantly become an expert in any one debate topic, what would you choose?
If I could become an expert in any one debate topic.
He's going to say Pokemon. I know it.
It did cross my mind, but maybe I would like to be an expert on like the resurrection, and really know like all the different point of views of the resurrection. That'd be very interesting because like Christians do put a lot of weight on the resurrection to prove that like Jesus was divine and Jesus fulfilled some kind of prophecy. So that'd be pretty cool to have that knowledge.
Yeah. That's a really good one to know. I think I would want to know more about biology so I could argue abiogenesis better. Because frankly, I don't understand it, but I do, like, I understand it enough to know that I do believe that it is the best, the best idea of where we all came from, where life came from, not the universe, but where life came from right now that we have. But if I had to explain to you why I think that, I could not, because I really don't know enough about it to speak on it. I just know that the arguments I have heard, the things I have read, I go, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. But now don't make me explain it to you because I couldn't.
Yeah, I think that's a good choice, actually. Like abiogenesis is an interesting topic.
It is really interesting. And I keep bringing Joel and Mezzo up. God, they need to pay me money for this. But Mezzo is really smart. And when he talks about it, he does it in a way that does help me understand it a lot better. Like he's funny, and I know that everybody thinks he's cute and he's, Rico Suave out there singing to everybody his little sexy songs, but he's really smart. And when he talks about science and cosmology and abiogenesis and stuff, he does it in a way that makes it so much easier to understand than other people, I think. Have you ever had a debate where the chat was more interesting than the debate itself? And I know you have, but I don't know. You don't have to say who it was.
No, yeah. I've definitely had a debate with the chat. It was way more interesting than the debate itself. To be honest, it probably was. I debated Angel Investor. That's like a Christian on this app that's like really piss poor bad, and yeah, like the chat was way more interesting for that debate than like the actual debate, guaranteed, like hands down.
I remember one time, it was one of the first times, not like first times, but one of the first times like that no degree required was up on Justin's live, I think it was. And we all started just changing his name in chat to like no GED required, no homeschooling required, no tutoring required. Anyway, that was just the funniest night in chat. And now everybody does it when he's on somebody's live because we all sat there and did that all night long. Yeah, that was kind of fun. What do you think? Who do you think argues more passionately? Is it Christians or Muslims?
I would probably give it to the Christians. I do spend more time with Christians, but I feel like Christians get more angry and frustrated, or yeah, Christians are more involved. They are more emotionally involved in like the arguments that they make for God. And yeah, I would say that Christians are way more passionate, but I do need to probably argue with more Muslims. Yeah.
What's your favorite? Oh, go ahead, Brandon.
Oh, sorry. For some reason, that reminded me of a question that I've been having for a while. And so I'm going to ask you. And that is, with so much racism happening on the apps, how can people like me support Black and brown people when it's happening to them?
I would just say like probably people should be like more vocal about it. I think like if collectively as a group we decide to like address these people and probably not platform them and like show them that we don't support these ideas, that kind of shows like a united front against these kinds of ideas. But I've seen and I've seen some like racist comments, and unfortunately like it happens on TikTok, and that's kind of bad. But yeah, I guess like a lot of us need to be on like the same page and be like, we don't really tolerate this behavior. And I think that kind of makes change and shows that like, you know, the community is not really for this and this is not acceptable.
I agree. Do you prefer debates that are fast-paced and heated, or calm and methodical?
Depends on what day you catch me, but because like
that's so real right there.
Yeah, because like I don't want to fight people, right? I want all of us to coexist. But if a Christian is like being an asshole, and like, let's say I got back from work and like I'm like pissed off, I'm like, fuck yeah. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to like destroy you on TikTok. I will happily oblige. Like no problem whatsoever. But I prefer if we all got along, but there are days where like someone picks a fight and I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to fight today. Like I'm gonna rip you in half. Like, and yeah.
Do you think that being good at debating has real world value?
Yeah, I think so. Because debate, like I said before, debating is a test of rhetoric. And I think if people are able to, like, part of rhetoric is having like good speech skills, being able to communicate, being able to convince people to believe in your ideas, speaking with confidence, not using any like filler words. Like I love to use the word like or right?
Me
Um,
too.
Professional debaters, like, they've mastered not using or like to fill in the gaps in what they're saying. It makes you look more reliable. So I think like having like
Mm.
really good speech skills does help you in, like, like the business space and like um, multiple aspects of your life, communicating with people, seeming more confident. I think being a good debater does have skills that are applicable to real world opportunities very often times.
I agree too. I think that even though I didn't ever take like debate in school or anything like that, it was something I always really liked, but I didn't really know that that's what I liked. Even as a Christian, I would go listen to apologetics because that's a whole different thing. I thought apologetics were all like Bible scholars and that they like I didn't know. I really didn't know that they were out there just to make excuses for the Bible. But anyway, I would listen to them all the time because I obviously did. I was very interested in the debates and stuff, but I didn't know that that's why I was interested. My mother
Crystal.
always used to tell
Oh, sorry.
what
I thought you were done. Go ahead.
no. My mother used to always tell me like that I like should be a lawyer or something, but didn't help me go to school, so that wasn't gonna happen. So I really have always liked that, and as I've grown older, I think one of the best ways that it has helped me in real world is being good at negotiations. Because if you can debate well, then you can negotiate for yourself well too. And I don't think we teach people that enough, and you need to learn it because you're going to need to negotiate for your vehicle. If you don't, you're literally leaving money on the table. If you don't negotiate for your car, you're going to negotiate hopefully for how much somebody pays you in your job. And again, if you don't negotiate that, you're leaving money on the table. I'm telling you this, especially women. Women, you don't negotiate that price enough. Take it from me, okay? If you don't negotiate your home, when you go to buy your house, you are leaving money on the table. And so once you learn those skills and understand them, I think that that they can help you greatly. And then you're going to learn to negotiate with people throughout your life because you are going to have disagreements and you're going to need to somehow negotiate through those, whether it's your spouse or your children or whoever. There's always negotiations.
Yeah.
So I think that that's a very helpful real world thing. What did you want to say, Grana?
Have you ever heard of Toastmasters?
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
I am in Toastmasters, and it has helped me so much with my ands, ums, and for some reason, I love the word just. I was going just that way, or something. I always add it into sentences there where it doesn't need to be. I've learned that from Toastmasters, and they have a lot that are online. You don't even have to go anywhere.
Oh, cool. I'll have to check it out
Since
because
2020,
I
a bunch
say
of them are online.
and I want to. I just said right after I said
You
that.
know.
Like when you
They call
grow
them tech
up
words.
in California, you say like a lot. That's a very common vernacular in Southern California. So there we go again. Just said it again. Now I'm going to be hyperly cognizant of that. Have you had to ever debate somebody who you actually agreed with on most points?
Not really. No, I've never been in that situation, actually. I've never had to debate somebody that I agree with on most points.
Okay, that's good. What's the strangest argument you've ever heard from a Christian?
The strangest argument I've heard from a Christian? I don't know, actually. like I don't know what the strangest argument I've ever heard from a Christian is.
This week, I had a lovely lady on my show, and she was saying how when you get sick on earth, that when you unalive and go to heaven, then you get like a new body and it's all healthy and it's all better and everything is perfect about your body. And my question was then, are there babies in heaven? So like if a baby dies of cancer like right away, or maybe their mother was an addict or something like that, and then they unalive immediately or something like that, so are there a bunch of little babies up in heaven with little perfect baby bodies? And she said, I don't know. And I said, oh, okay, so do you, like, what age do you think do we all show up as the same age, or are there like 102-year-olds who just got like a new body, like? And she said, I don't know. And I said, well, see, these are like the things I think about when you tell me a story about a place that nobody's ever heard of or whatever. I said, like, what about Jesus? And she said, well, Jesus is, he's still human. And I said, no, he's not human. He resurrected. And she goes, yeah, but remember, like, he was in his body. And I go, and she goes, and now he's sitting at the right hand of God the Father. I go, wait, I want to understand this. Are you saying that Jesus, with all his holes and everything, in a human body, is up there in a spiritual realm with a spiritual father and a spiritual throne, but he's in a human body? And she said, yeah.
Oh, wait,
And
that's weird.
I said, do you want to like listen to that for a minute? Like just sit with that. Like that does not make sense to me. Like what?
Yeah.
So I don't know. But apparently
that
Jesus'
was really
holy
good.
body is sitting in the right hand of God the Father.
Yeah, that's a confusing one.
To me, some of the most absurd things they say is like the things that they all hold to, like all Christians. It's like in all of their beliefs, like the fact that it's justified for God to just genocide an entire population. You know what I mean? Like because he created us, and so therefore he can cause us to suffer as much as he wants. The ones that aren't even like espoused by a small percentage, but are rather held by the entire group, are some of the most absurd ones.
Yeah, Joel brought up tonight. Yes, I said Joel and Mezzo's name again. I think we should drink every time I mention Joel or Mezzo. Joel, we'll all be wasted.
I
Joel
would die.
said, he brought up the part where it says that if a priest's daughter, if she's a witch, like, or I think if she, maybe it's just if she has smacks before she's married. But anyway, if she does something, burn her alive. Okay, burn her alive. Very rich. And
It was if
It's
she
insane.
had intercourse with someone before, really.
it
before
is
marriage,
right,
yeah.
Isn't it? But if
Or
she
who
has
wasn't her
intercourse before
husband.
marriage,
Yeah.
you're right. It's like premarital sex. I'm very sure.
Mhm.
And this guest said tonight that that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
The links they
And
go
he's
to.
like,
That was nuts.
Yeah, that's nuts.
what are you talking about? How do you think that is a good thing? Well, he made a rule, and you've got to live by it, And Joel's like, yeah, but the rule's stupid. Like, at what part don't you get that that's a dumb rule? Like, and why only the priests? You know what I mean? Like, he's specifically like, the priest's daughters are like this. Burn them. Just wild to me how they...
Oh, yeah. And then he was trying to say that it wasn't a horrible death.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's Jesus.
Yeah.
What?
So what's your go-to snack and or drink during debates? On debate night?
I think for multiple debates now, I have been drinking like bricks. Like I'll have like an iced tea mixed with like lemon brisk, or like with like just a fruit punch brisk. And as far as like a snack,
That is a good tea, by the way. That's a very good tea.
yeah, like I love the brisk tea things. And for a snack, like I don't know, like probably like hot fries or like Oreos. Either like hot fries
Yes.
or Oreos.
Now, are hot fries just hot French fries that are still hot, or are they something else?
The Cheetos like spicy
Oh,
chips.
Oh, you do the Cheetos.
Yeah.
The other ones, have you had the other ones? You know which ones, like the more puffy ones?
The Cheeto Puffs?
No, they're not Cheeto Puffs. They're like another brand. There's like a flame on the packaging. They're like really puffy. They're like mostly air.
I think I know what you're talking about actually. Yeah, it's like a Spanish brand, I think.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's the one I prefer.
Yeah.
Lately, I have been in love with freeze-dried Skittles, and I don't need to eat them. There's no reason I should be having these at all, but they're so good.
They're heaven.
So good.
Just
Luckily, I can't find them very often, and so I don't get to eat them very often. But when I find them, like I could
They're
just
on the
eat a
TikTok
whole
shop.
bag so fast. Shh! Don't tell me that.
I
I
know
just
I
got a
shouldn't, but
little
I did it.
TikTok money today. I shouldn't do that. Okay. Have you ever gone into a debate thinking it would be easy and then been totally caught off guard?
Yeah, like when I sucked at debating, in the beginning, yeah, I've been caught off guard. There was one time I was debating like Russell, who is
I know who he is. He hates me.
yeah, this was like way back when. But like, I went into a debate, arguing for like classical theism, and he's like an open theist, and I got like stumped a little bit and had to like re like work my approach basically.
So explain the difference between classical theism and open theism.
Yeah, so with classical theism, the God is going to have all the omni properties. He's going to be, present everywhere, all knowing. He's going to be all powerful. He's going to basically have all those omni properties. With open theism, God doesn't know future propositions, so he doesn't know what's going to happen in the future. So when humans do stuff, it's surprising him basically. So he just lacks a couple of those omni traits. And given that, it's kind of tough to argue around open theism. I think open theism is a stronger theistic God, but I personally think that the God of the Bible is going to be like a classical theistic God, because there's plenty of
Yeah.
things about him knowing like the future, him being omnipresent, him being all powerful. I think the classical theistic God fits more with the Bible. I don't know how someone could get the open theistic God from the Bible.
Yeah.
With a lot of
So
mental
the-
gymnastics.
Yeah, for sure. So today, I heard Bitter Truth on Christina Carroll's live. I don't know if anybody heard that, but I came in kind of in the middle of the situation. They were talking about the story of David and Bathsheba, and I hear Bitter Truth arguing that Bathsheba wasn't married to Uriah. And so David didn't sin. And I don't even understand how he could be making this point, because if David didn't sin, then God is even more evil than he was before, because he unalives David's baby and then has his 10 wives raped by David's son. So, why are you even arguing this? First of all, it says so many times in the story that Bathsheba is Uriah's wife. It's so clear that that's who this woman is. But he kept saying, because of the part of this story where David tells Uriah, go home and do your wife, man. Go have a night off. You've been fighting. You've been, the war's been crazy. Go sleep with your wife, because he wants Uriah to think that he's the father of the child. And then Uriah says, no, I'm not going to do it because I want to stay with my men. We've been through a lot and we've got more battle to go. I want to be by my men. And because he doesn't sleep with Bathsheba, he goes, see, he didn't sleep with her, so he didn't consummate the marriage. But he didn't have to consummate a marriage, because the beginning of the story tells you that's his wife. And it's like, what are you? I don't even understand this argument. I never did understand
consummated
it.
years ago. Like,
Right?
Yeah.
It was so wild. And they were pointing out over and over again how many times the verses mentioned that Bathsheba is Uriah's wife. And all I could think of is, what is the point? Like, if he's not, then God is a bigger asshole.
Yeah.
Like, why would you argue this?
And
I've no
how you got married back then was basically you slept with the person.
Right.
If you slept with the person, and then they basically said, okay, now you are married. So they couldn't be
that's
married.
what his point. He was trying to say, since Uriah said no that one time, that meant they never actually slept together. And so they were not husband and wife. And we were trying to tell him they were
they've been
husband
married
and wife.
for a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
And
They couldn't have called them husband and wife, is what I'm saying. They could not have called them that if they hadn't consummated the marriage. So
we kept trying
That's
to.
ridiculous.
He goes. When you would go to a man and you would say, "Hey, I want to marry your daughter," and then you guys agreed on a price, she was your wife right then. But he
No,
wasn't
she was
like
your
really
fiancée.
married. And we would say, "No, she was your betrothed." And he thought betrothed meant wife. He goes, "It was a done deal," and it was like, "Yeah, but." It's not a wife till you actually sleep with her. And they had obviously already consummated the marriage, or David would not be calling Uriah, the husband, and Bathsheba the wife. They would not have used that terminology.
David probably wouldn't have cared, because it wouldn't have been bad that now she's David's wife. No one would have cared.
Yeah, it was such a weird argument. I've heard a lot of weird arguments from Bitter Truth, but that one was just one of the weirdest ones I've heard from him.
That makes me think of a question. For some reason, I think of this. Have you ever had times when people have said things similar to this, where you're literally like, I don't even know where to begin? Where, like, just sometimes the things that people say are so not in the Bible, but not even in history, not even ever. And you're like, where did you get that from?
There have been times like that. I can't remember a specific instance, but there's definitely been times where I've been like, okay, how do I even start to argue against this? Like, what did this guy actually say? Like, what am I dealing with here? Like, this doesn't make any sense. But like, I can't remember. I can't remember a specific like instance or like, I don't know.
Hey, who doesn't?
Yeah,
you don't have
that's
to
a
have
good question.
specific incidents.
I can't think of a specific incident either, granted, but I'm sure I've seen it and heard it before, but I can't think of one right now. You guys, you know what time it is right now? It is time for everybody's favorite time of Decon Q&A with CrystalJae. It's time for Divine or Decline. And if you are in the chat and you want to come up and play, there is a space for you right there. We are going to play Divine or Decline, and it's a very simple and fun game. I'm going to read to you a phrase. If it is from the Bible, it's divine, and you will say divine or put the D with the halo in the chat. And the version of the Bible I use is the TMNT translation. No, I'm just kidding. It's the New American Standard Bible. But I am gonna write the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle translation at some point. It's my goal. Anyway, we use the New American Standard Bible because it's copyright free. Also, if it is not from the Bible, if it is from the Holy Quran or the 1830 Book of Mormon Or if it's just made up bullshit, you're going to say decline. There's absolutely no points. Everybody loses this game. And it's just fun to get mad at me when you're done with the game.
Yes,
I'm going to
because
start
your
from
made up
the
bullshit is like sounds so real. It's just ridiculous.
Those are the ones I've failed to the most because they sound so real. It's crazy.
And I'm going to start from the top and work my way down. I'll ask you a question and then we'll get an answer from each of you. Are you guys ready?
Ready.
Yes.
All right, here we go. You shall not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leavened bread, nor is the sacrifice of the feast of the Passover to be left over until morning. Grana.
Divine.
Yeah, that sounds too
Caleb.
specific. That sounds too specific to be made up. I'm going to say divine.
All
Uh,
right, Coco.
Could be wrong.
I would say divine as well. Like, there's
Oh,
no
no.
text that's using Passover. Like,
That is divine, you guys. That is
Whew.
divine. That's Exodus
Whew.
34:25. And the bowls for the incense were to be weighed according to the shekel of the sanctuary, and the covers thereof were to be engraved with pomegranates. Grana.
I'm gonna say divine.
Caleb.
I'm going to say deny, actually.
Okay, Coco.
I'm gonna go decline.
That is decline. I made that one up.
Nice.
The
But
Bible-
they do use
Decline.
pomegranates, so you
Yes, they
fooled me,
do.
'cause They use pomegranates.
Yes, they do. And they use a shekel to weigh things. It's in the
Yep,
sanctuary.
yep.
in the temple,
Everything
so-
was right. It just wasn't.
Because I read my Bible, people. I read my Bible.
That's right.
Okay. By the way, I got a gift. Somebody bought me something. I don't want to say their name because I don't know if they want me to tell everybody, but I am going to brag about the gift I got. Somebody bought me something off my Amazon wish list, and it is the Ethiopian Bible. And I am so freaking
No.
excited that I have a copy of the
Awesome.
Ethiopian Bible now.
That's
So
good.
How do we find your Amazon wish list? Is it in the deconstruction?
It's in my
thing?
link tree.
Oh, it's in
my
your link tree. Okay.
Yeah, so that is amazing. And if she decides she wants me to go ahead and say who it was, I'll share that. But thank you to the beautiful person who sent that to me because
Nice.
it's amazing. I have a few versions of the Bible. I have the NRSVUE. I have the Tanakh, the Jewish Study Bible. I have the Catholic Bible. I have the Quran. I don't think I have the Book of Mormon yet, though. And now I have the Ethiopian Bible. So I'm really happy. That made me so happy. Okay, number 3. And it came to pass that we did gather the grain into the storehouses, that there should be no lack in the day of famine, for the people did labor with all diligence. Brana.
Oh dear God, that could be just about anything. I'm gonna say divine because I know that happened, but I don't know if it was at those words.
Okay, Caleb.
Yeah, I agree. I have absolutely no idea. I'm just going to say divine because why not?
Okay, Coco.
Let me say decline, just to like split the focus.
Make sure someone gets a point.
That is decline. That's from the
Let's go.
1830 Book of Mormon. That's Alma
I had a feeling.
28:1.
It's just a little too
Okay.
happy at the end. I should have known.
You shall not breed together 2 kinds of your cattle. You shall not sow your field with 2 kinds of seed, nor wear a garment of 2 kinds of material mixed together. Grana.
I'm gonna say divine.
Caleb.
I'm going to need to use my one judge reread that for me, please.
Yes. You shall not breed together 2 kinds of your cattle. You shall not sow your field with 2 kinds of seed, nor wear a garment of 2 kinds of material mixed together.
See, I know there's something like that, but you could have changed the words. We're just going to say divine. We'll say divine.
Okay. Okay, Coco.
That's definitely divine.
That is divine. You guys, that's Leviticus 19:19. We just studied that in Non-Believers Bible Study that is every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific time right here on my channel. And what we learned about that from Rabbi Berg is that basically that's just supremacy culture.
Really?
That is just, you know, you can't have two different kinds mixing together. So we will separate them
Oh,
because,
Wow.
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 yeah. So,
God.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I
I
always
disagree
wondered
with
why.
that, just so you know. And if Denzel Washington ever gets single, can you guys send him my way, please?
Yeah.
But
Okay,
this,
we
no, it
will.
can't happen because I know you can't do that because his wife probably would have to pass away because they're so in love. So let's not have that happen. Okay.
Yeah, let's not have that happen. Okay. But maybe he has a doppelganger, Grana. Maybe.
Oh, he
you know?
does. His
Okay.
name is Don Franklin.
That's so funny. Okay. The priest shall measure from the gate to the altar, and the cord shall be flax, and the measure shall be according to the cubit of the sanctuary. Grana.
Every one of these is going to be divine. Just everyone divine.
Okay. Divine. Caleb.
I'm gonna say divine because I remember somebody arguing about a cubit one time.
Okay. Coco.
I'm gonna go with. Okay, let me. Shoot, this is a hard one. I'm gonna go with decline, but I'm probably gonna regret this decision.
That is decline. That one was made up. Good job, Coco.
Your made up ones are so good. So good.
Is there something about a cubit in the Bible?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
there
okay.
is. The cubit is talked about during Noah's Ark. That's the measurement they used for the ark.
Okay, good. I'm not crazy.
Indeed.
Isn't it also
And there's-
the measurement for the tabernacle too?
Yeah, also the tent meeting or whatever
Yeah,
it's called. Yeah, absolutely. Indeed, God commands you to render trusts. Wait, did I read that right? Indeed, God commands you to render trust to whom they are due, and when you judge between people, to judge with justice. Xana.
That's okay. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Judge with justice. I'm going to say decline just because I haven't said that yet.
All right, Caleb.
I have no idea on this one. I'll just say divine. Why not?
All right, Coco.
Decline. Yeah, I think that was definitely made up.
That one's declined, but it's not made up. That's from the Quran 458. I just took the word Allah out and replaced it with God. Okay.
Same word.
If a man's hair has fallen from his head, he is bald. He is clean. Grana.
Decline.
All right, Caleb.
Decline. There's no way.
All right, Coco.
Let me do divine.
That is divine. Coco, you're killing it. That's Leviticus
Coco.
13:40.
Yeah, like I thought so.
Good job. Hi, Anna. Thanks for the heart me.
It just sounded too biblical, and so I thought it was Crystal.
Because one of my because in my notes, one of my biblical contradictions is that God says on one hand that men are supposed to like cut their hair, but then like on the other hand he's saying like they shouldn't allow for their hair to like grow long, and that's in like 2 books in the Old Testament.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's wild. The silver trumpet shall be sounded at the beginning of the month, and the elders shall count the days until the feast is fulfilled. Rana.
Divine. At this point, I'm
Caleb.
just throwing anything.
I'll say divine.
All right, Coco.
I'll say divine.
That one's declined. That one's made up.
Oh, darn.
No.
Number 9.
Uh-oh.
And we have certainly made... I can't read it.
What does it say?
This is gonna be a give me. All right, here we go. I don't know why I didn't remember to mask a word.
Oh.
And we have
Spell it
certainly
out.
made the Quran easy to remember. So
Oh,
is
no.
there any who will remember? Greta.
Ooh.
Caleb.
Yeah, I'm gonna say decline on that one personally.
Okay, Coco.
Oh no, that's looking like divine for sure. Like I'm just saying. No, I'm declining.
You're all wrong. That's divine. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, that's from the Quran, 54:17. I remembered to change Allah to God, but I forgot to change Quran to the word. And yeah, that doesn't give me. All right. Here it is. The last question of the night. This one's for all the marbles. Whoever gets this is the winner of eternity. Okay, here we go.
Woohoo!
You shall not wrong a stranger or oppress him, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt.
Oh, this is
Rihanna.
easy.
Divine.
Caleb.
Divine.
Coco.
Divine. We talk about this on TikTok all the time.
Yes.
I know.
There you
But
go.
watch
You
this.
guys
No, I
got.
rewrote it.
I rewrote it. No, I didn't. I did not rewrite that one. You guys all are winners to me. Coco,
Yay.
when do you go live next?
Thanks to that Quran one. Otherwise, I've only had 4, so which isn't bad. But I got
no,
half
that
of
was CrystalJae
that.
makes it.
Yeah. I think everyone did a good job. But yeah, like it was hard to detect which ones were decline. Like you do a very good job at like making up verses because you use what you've read in the Bible to make new ones. I think that's clever.
Yeah, and
Well,
she
and
has the
also the
poker face
thing-
of all poker faces.
That's true. I do have a poker face. And it's just that the Quran and the Book of Mormon were just ripoffs of the Bible, so they all sound alike. And I think that that's the point of the game, that they all make up bullshit and it all sounds alike. So anybody
when-
can write a Bible. Anybody can write a
When
Bible. I promise you.
when your Bible comes out, Crystal, we'll have to do it divine or decline on that one too.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Coco, when are you live again?
I'm probably gonna go live tonight and hang out for a little bit and play Fortnite and hang out with people. But yeah, typically I did make a new schedule. I'm gonna be going live on Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays. But sometimes on Tuesday and Friday, I might be doing stuff for the Day of Debates channel that I run with AR.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, Monday, Thursday, and Friday. Yeah, Tuesday and Friday, I may be doing something with AR.
Awesome. Okay, so make sure you're following Coco, and make sure that you watch Dave Debates because that's amazing. Okay, if you know people who like to debate, make sure you connect them with Coco. He's always looking for people to debate on both sides of the aisle, whether they're atheist, whether they're Christian. That's what he's putting together here, and we love to watch them debate, so make sure you send them his way. I will be live again on Sunday, right after Atheist Sunday School. So after you go get some ass with Mezzo, then make sure that you join me. I will be live at 11 a.m. Pacific time with Mama Bash. And it's going to be an amazing show. So make sure you come. And I try. I really do. Like, I really try. So make sure you come. And then I have some more guests that are coming up. We haven't finalized our dates, Joel. This is, Joel, you need to check your calendar, dude. You've been telling me this forever. Anyway, but I have some really good shows coming up. September 2nd at 3 p.m. Pacific time, I'm going to have some of my favoriteist panelists here. I'm going to have Fee, Mac Lester, and Lortz live together as a Decon Q&A with CrystalJae panelist day. And then on September 5th, 11 a.m. Pacific time, right here, I have Deconstruction Zone Justin. So make sure you're following, make sure you subscribe. And if you haven't subscribed, do so today. It's less than a cup of coffee a month. You're subscribed to Netflix, Hulu, Paramount Plus, and the Disney Channel. And you don't watch any of them because you're here every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year, because I see you. I'm here too. So cancel some of those subscriptions and come over here, subscribe to small creators like myself and like Coco, because we give you more bang for your buck than Netflix. Come on. You know you
And
get more
Coco gives you
entertainment
the
from
big
us.
smiles, but the best smiles in the world too.
Oh,
He really
yeah.
does.
Yeah.
He
I
really
guess.
does. So you guys, thank
Why
you
is
so much.
Deconstruction Center crying?
I think she was laughing.
Deconstruction.
Oh, okay. Okay. It doesn't look like crying laughter. It looks like
Oh,
sad.
no.
That's
DC
right.
is probably crying because, let me guess, DC, you just got here and you realized that I'm leaving, huh?
Oh,
I
that
think
makes
that's
sense.
why DC is crying.
That makes sense.
He's my buddy, and I think he realized, I
Okay.
came at the end of the show. So, yeah, that's probably why. DC, I love you, and hopefully I'll see you on the next Wednesday's Bible study, because we will be live at 11 a.m. on Wednesday for non-believers Bible study. We are still in Leviticus, but I think we're almost to the end now, if I'm not mistaken, and we can then move into Numbers. Yes. This is so fun. This Old Testament is just riveting, I tell you. It's riveting information here. I have learned so much about how to make a tabernacle and an ark for the Lord. It's amazing. Anyway, you guys, I will see you all around the mean streets of TikTok and YouTube. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you for the stream, Crystal.
This is really
Thank
cool.
you
Coco,
both.
hopefully you'll be back in a few months, Coco. We can do this again. Caleb, thanks for being here. Granta, thanks for being here. Good night, everybody.